this video we will see the halting problem and undesirability. So halting means is that given an input to a particular algorithm, the algorithm will stop somehow. That is either it will accept the input and stop, or it will reject the particular input and stop. For example, if you are writing a program for prime numbers, and if you are writing the correct program, and if you have given it a number, if the number is prime, it will accept the input and say that it is prime, and then it will stop. Or if it is not a prime number, it will tell that it is not a prime number, that is it will reject the number and then it will stop. That is eventually it will stop somehow, either by accepting the input or by rejecting the input. That is, the algorithm will not be trapped in infinite loops, so it won't loop forever. That is halting. And halting problem is the question, that is actually a decision problem, and it asks whether a given algorithm with the given input will it halt or not. That is, if you are given an algorithm and you are given an input, will this algorithm stop on this particular input? That is, the algorithm can either accept the input or reject the input, that doesn't matter. The question is, the halting problem question is whether this algorithm will stop on this particular input, whether it will be accept, stop, or reject, halt, whether it will stop or not, or whether it will be trapped in infinite loops. That is halting problem. That is, for sure, halting problem is a decision problem. That is, the answer is an yes or no, whether the algorithm on this particular input halts or not halt. That is, this halting problem is a decision problem. And it says that, and it is proved that halting problem is undecidable. That is, we can't create a general algorithm which can take any we can't generalize or create an algorithm, general algorithm, which will take a program and then input I and can tell that this program will halt on this particular input or not. We can't create such an algorithm. So that is why the halting problem is said to be undecidable. That is, we can't design such an algorithm. The only way ahead is give this input I to the program P, run it. If it is stopping, fine, it stops. If it is not stopping, yeah, this doesn't stop. That's it. We can't anyway create a general algorithm which can decide all the programs, whatever be the program given to it, and the input I, whether P will stop on I or not. We can't design a general algorithm which can determine this. That is the statement of halting problem. And halting problem has proven to be undecidable. That is, we can generalize or create a general algorithm for checking any program input pair, does it halt or not. Okay, so next we will move on to the proof of halting problem and its undecidability. That is, why do we say that halting problem is undecidable? Okay, so see, if such an algorithm was possible, it would have been something like uh, decidable algorithm for halting. Decidable algorithm for halting. It would have behaved like this with the program P and input I. It will be like this. That is, if P halts on I, return yes, else return no. So we should be able to decide an algorithm like this to say that yeah, to if the halting problem was decidable, we would have been able to create an algorithm like this. That is decidable halting. The inputs are arguments are the program and input. If P holds on I, return yes, else return no. Okay, so this would have been the general algorithm decidable halt. If halting problem would have been halting problem was decidable. Okay. Now if we have such a problem, if we have such an algorithm, we can also tweak this algorithm to behave something totally different. That is, I am creating undecidable halt, another algorithm by tweaking this. So the parameters are this decidable halting. I am giving this code as the input. Okay. So I am writing the lines. If decidable halt, if decidable halt of p comma I is equal to if it is returning yes, or I'll to make better sense, I'll write this as halt and no halt or loop. Okay, if decidable halt p comma I is equal to halt loop forever, else stop. Or even return. See, so yeah, so this is what I could do. That is a decidable halting is the ideal algorithm that I am trying to design. That is, I want to establish that there could be an algorithm. I can design an algorithm that can take the input program P and input I and return halt if P holds on I, else return loop. That is, if it is, that is, I can tell whether this program holds or not correctly. So this is the ideal algorithm that I have in my mind. But if you have such an algorithm, you can always create an algorithm like this, which takes as argument the code of this algorithm. And if this algorithm is returning halt, this algorithm will ask it to loop forever. If this algorithm is looping forever, this will ask it to return. That is, if it is halting, if the output that we are getting from here is halting, this code will make it loop forever. That is, it won't halt. And if it is not halting, it will keep on, if it is not halting, it will ask us to return. That is, we can always tweak the algorithm like this and create a new algorithm which will never stop. Okay, so this is actually the proof by contradiction. That is, if we have an ideal algorithm like this, we can always create a tweaked algorithm like this which will never stop, because if this is stopping, this will never allow it to stop. If it is not stopping, it won't even come out of this point, then only it can return, isn't it? So it won't even come out of this point. That algorithm will keep on looping. So in either phase, this algorithm, it is quite undesirable, we can't say. So an algorithm like this can be designed. You can always design an algorithm like this. So this is actually a proof by contradiction, meaning that you can't never generalize an algorithm to decide a particular program on the given input will stop or will loop forever. So that is the proof by contradiction to prove that halting problems are undecidable. Now we will explain the undesirability of halting using a more formal representation, which is using Turing machines. That is, we have to design a Turing machine. It said that is for halting problem to be decidable. If halting problem is decidable, we have to design a Turing machine H such that H takes as inputs a Turing machine T, another Turing machine code T, and an input string W. And what does the Turing machine H has to do was, H has to accept and hold if T holds on W. Okay, T holds on W. Now H has to reject and hold. Even then it has to hold. Reject and hold if T doesn't hold on W. Okay. That is either way H has to stop. The Turing machine H has to stop. Then only you can get to know the answer of the decision problem, whether it is halting or not halting, isn't it? So H has to accept it and hold if T holds on W, and H has to reject it and hold if T doesn't hold on W. Yeah. So if you are representing this as a Turing machine, we can design H like this. We can design the Turing machine H like this. That is, we are giving the input T comma W to H, and the initial state is here, and it will go through some states and reach a final state QF. If F is being accepted, or it will reach a non-final state QR if it is being rejected. That is, QF is accept and hold, and QR is reject and hold. Okay. So this is the design of H. That is, we will give the input T comma W. T is a code of Turing machine, that is a program, and W is the input string. Now initial state is Q0. This arrow is given like this because this means that it moves to a few states in between, and it reaches the final state. That means if it is reaching the final state, that is this condition, accept and hold. If it is reaching the non-final state, that means reject and hold. Okay. Now if it is H is like this, we can always design a Turing machine H dash this. H dash on T comma W. That is, we can create a Turing machine H dash like accept and hold if T does not hold on W. We can invert this, isn't it? Loop forever if T holds on W. So we can always create a Turing machine H dash like this by tweaking the states of this Turing machine. So H dash on T comma W can behave like this. That is, Q0 is the initial state, and it can loop here and keep on looping in some random state, or it can move to some final state. QR can be tweaked to be a final state, and QF final state can be converted to a non-final state like this. So this is if T holds on W, and this is if T doesn't hold on W. Okay, that is, if T holds on W, that keeps on looping. H dash keeps on looping. If T doesn't hold on W, H dash immediately stops. Okay, so that is the design of H dash. Now what happens if we are replacing this T with H dash itself? That is, Turing machine code can be anything. We are giving the code of H dash into H dash itself. That is, H dash on H dash comma W. So see what happens. That is, H dash on T comma W is accept and hold if T doesn't hold on W. Here instead of T, this is H dash. H dash doesn't hold on W. Now loop forever if T, this is not T but H dash here. So H dash holds on W. So see the design, H dash on H dash comma W, that is H dash on, instead of T I am writing H dash on H dash comma W, except and hold if H dash doesn't hold on W, and loop forever if H dash holds on W, that is it is behaving just opposite of what exactly H dash is doing. That is, when we are giving the same input, the code of the machine itself to it, so it is behaving quite oppositely. That is what I wanted to prove, that we can always make the algorithms behave like this. That is, there are no general algorithms that can be created which decides, given an input T and input program T and a string W, decides whether T stops in W or not. We can always create algorithms that do not stop. So halting problem is undesirable. There is no simple general algorithm which can tell whatever be the input program given to it and input string given to it, tell whether this program holds on this input I. Okay, that is, we can always create tweaked versions like this which behave the opposite. So that halting problem is said to be undecidable. Okay, hope the proof is clear to you. See now, there are something called undecidable languages. Undecidable languages, if a language is undecidable, there is no Turing machine which accepts the language and makes a decision for every input string W in that. That is, there won't be any Turing machine T for that language which can accept every input string W, and which can take every input string W and decide whether the Turing machine will stop on W or not. For some W, the Turing machine may take a decision, that is, this Turing machine will stop on this particular input or not. But for all the input string W, in that language, the Turing machine will not be able to take a decision. An example is halting problem that we have just proved. So hope this is clear to you. Thank you so much.